All right, it's almost the middle of January and I have a lot to do in the garden. This is the first part of the grow along with me. I'm going to be using my planter, but I have a lot to do. But before that, I'm actually going to give you a tour of the garden. Alrighty, so I actually have a dragon fruit that I've been learning how to trellis. I have some tomato plants. It's not liking the cold weather, but I have to harvest. This is a strawberry tomato, or excuse me, this is a black strawberry tomato plant, and it is in a self-watering container, but the cold it's not liking. Let's see, I have my ice cream banana here, and normally this has more babies, but when it gets warm, it's going to give me more babies. I have my dwarf mango variety here. This is an ice cream mango, and I know these were blueberry bushes. I have no idea what's going on with them. I mean, obviously they still look alive. I think that I'm actually going to move the blueberries into pots, because maybe it's an acidity level in the soil. Don't know. There's nasturtium next to it. That's a flower. I got a pineapple. There's my elderberry bush. And then here's more nasturtium. These are self-seeding nasturtiums. They're so pretty. Show you. And they're actually edible. Tastes more peppery, but I use this plant as a trap crop. Very pretty. Carrots I'm going to be harvesting today. Green beans I'm going to be harvesting today and possibly getting them out. I have some strawberries in there. I need to move. I'm not sure if they're going to make it. And then I have bulbing onions. Alrighty, let's go this way. I have some peas that I need to trellis up some more. As you can tell, I've been slacking. Cabbages, and this is the empty spot I'm going to be working with here. So I got cabbages, a butterfly pea, they don't like the cold. I have more banana. Let me back up. And then I have a peach tree, and it's doing its thing because it's cold. And, oh, can I close? That's comfrey. I have a mulberry tree. And when it started, it was very little. But it's cold. It doesn't like the cold either. Let me see if I can find a berry. And the berries look like, let's see if you can focus. The berries look like, goodness gracious, look like that. That's what the berries look like. And they're really, really good. So we just pick them as they come. We got some cabbages, Cuban oregano, sweet potato, and more cabbages. Oh, and we have some lavender. These are pepper plants that I overwintered, and I could talk about that in another video. But that's the gist of it. You'll be surprised what you can grow in a space this size. So it's not crazy big, but as you can see, I have benches that I made to give me some extra space. I have benches over there that I made to give me some more extra space, so we can make it work. All right, I'm here with my peas. I did not do them service because I didn't realize when I planted them that they need more trellising. As you see this coming out, they're grabbing onto each other, which is good, but I want them to grow up because I want them to give me more peas. I didn't realize that they will stop giving you peas. So I'm going to use craft twine. I'm going to use craft twine that I have left here to do it. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tie a knot here. It's not nothing fancy, just something I had. I don't necessarily like using craft twine because in the Florida sun, it doesn't do it any justice. It'll it starts deteriorating in the Florida sun. That's why I don't like it per se. All right, and then I'm going to do it just like so. And I'm going to do it again just to give it something. And I'm just going to do that all the way up. I was happy to find a few peas. I just wanted to give you an idea of how crowded the carrots looked. You don't want your carrots this crowded. You want to thin them out. You're not going to get the big carrots that you want if you don't thin them. Smells. Look at this. This one. Oh, that's a nice one. Look at that. I ended up finding a little critter in my carrots. It was probably munching on my carrot tops. Can you see that? Ooh. You can clearly differentiate between the two rows of carrots. The row on the right is Danvers, and the row on the left is Nukuruda. I am struggling right now because I have never had so many carrots. So I'm trying my best to give some space in between the ones that I feel like are going to be real big. The little ones I'm just pulling up. Ooh, that one. And this is literally one row of carrots. Just one. Let me see. Those look pretty good and decent. And I feel so bad because all I hear is snapping. Ooh, look at this one. It's a good one. So I'm giving more space for the bigger carrots to kind of thrive in here. The ones that I'm thinking that are small. So it looks like we're having baby carrots with dinner. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do this off camera. When harvesting green beans, you want to pinch them off the bush while supporting the bush. You don't want to pull at them like this because you will break your plant. Kind of like that. Look at that. Jeez. Look at these. Productive. I should have harvested the beans a little sooner. You don't want them bulging. These green beans aren't looking that great. They gave me a lot, but they're not looking that great. So I actually will probably end up pulling them soon because you don't want it just dying in the spot because it can just spread to your other crops. But green bean plants do die off. Oh, what do I see? Oh, look at this. I am going to pull it. Those are aphids. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me because I haven't been out here. But look at what they do to your plants. Yeah. And they'll spread to your other plants. So I'm gonna pull. I got my harvest because I'm planning on planting more green bean seeds anyway. So I'm gonna pull these plants out, and I'm not going to throw them in the compost. I'm going to put them in a bag, and I'm going to throw them away. There's a couple ways you can harvest your tomatoes. You can cut the stem like that. Some of the stems had extra flowers on there, so some people don't like to cut them that way. Or you can pick them one by one. Normally when they're ready, they just kind of pop off there. was checking the firmness of the tomato, and look at how pretty they are. Look at all these. I came from one plant. One plant. I left some of them on because I want my girls to be able to pick some. So I'll have them pick it today. And right now, because it's kind of looking sad, I think I'm going to prune the diseased leaves off and see how that helps it out. I wanted to give a lesson here. This is a main stem here. This is the branch. The suckers that you'll hear people talk about, they're going to grow right in the middle. Here's a perfect example. All right. This here, see the main branch and the main stem, the main stem, and then the branch. This here in the middle is a sucker. See how it's like an elbow? See the elbow? Right in the middle of the elbow. They still give flowers. See? And you can even take the suckers and you can put them in water or soil, and you can put them in soil. You can get a new plant out of them as well. So something to think about, but I left it on. Now I'm going to finish cleaning it up. Okay, there's all the dying, dead leaves, disease. These leaves, I would not recommend composting. I would put them in a bag and I would throw them away, because you don't know if there's some kind of disease in it. And what you don't want is it in your soil. And don't leave it just laying around like me. Get rid of it. But doesn't it look so much better? And I know when the spring comes, it's going to put off even more leaves. Okay. This is doing really, really, really good. As you can see, it's lifting up as it's filling. And this planter came with the cage as well. Tomatoes, something I struggled with watering all the time. Look at the gauge. It's spilling the water out. See that? If I want it 60%, it's going to let the water out until it gets to 60% full. But I'm going to leave it at 90, and it's still spilling out. So I'm going to let it do its thing. I'll leave that alone. Close that. And I'm actually going to add some fertilizer in here because tomatoes are heavy feeders and I haven't fed it in a while. The granular fertilizer lasts longer than liquid fertilizer. I think you can get away with maybe like a month or so, unless it's raining a lot. Okay, I wanted to show you what I've been using. This is not sponsored. I just picked this up at a box store. The reason why I got it was because of this. The OMRI certification means it was tested for chemicals and it's an organic product. So always look for this. You can find sprays, you can find pest sprays, you can find anything that has this OMRI listed on it. Okay, that means it was tested for chemicals, because I don't use chemicals in my garden. But this is a pretty good one. It's been doing pretty good. And you see it says feeds quickly and up to 3 months. Okay, when you fertilize, I'm going to move. What you do is, oh, it's still kind of moist. You see that? But what you want to do when you fertilize is you'll take some, throw it in there, and scratch it in the surface. Scratch it in. Okay, and then I'm going to do that all the way around because I want to make sure it's all the way, reaches all the roots. After I do all of that, I'm just going to spray the top just to get it wet. And I'm not going to spray the top again. I'm going to let the self-watering planter do its thing. And we can check on it in a little bit, probably a week or so. If I overwater it, the nice thing is it'll come out the bottom. So even if you're really going heavy, you have it set to whatever you want, it's going to start spilling out the bottom if it gets too full. Okay. And another thing about tomatoes is you don't want to spray on their leaves. They don't like being wet, okay? Because then you'll start getting leaf diseases like that. I'll probably cut that off. And another thing about tomato plants is I mulch mine because I don't want the tomato plant getting blight. So the mulch protects the tomato plant from the splash of the dirt. That's where they'll get the bacterial disease, the fungal disease. This is another thing about tomatoes. You see the little hairs on a tomato plant? It's on all of the stems, okay? So when you get a new tomato plant, you can bury it as deep as you want. Just make sure the leaves aren't touching the dirt. And all these little hairs will turn into roots. That's how you get a real healthy, strong tomato plant. Plant it deep when you first get a seedling. All right, look at this. I got this from one tomato plant, 2 green bean plants, and I was just harvesting some carrots early to make room for the bigger carrots to grow. And so some of them are really small, but some of them look like this. So it's like a baby carrot. So I'm actually kind of glad I didn't thin them out early, because I would have just thrown them away thinking that I would get nothing. So I guess that's an idea for you. You can actually leave it in and just harvest as they grow so you can have some baby carrots. But anyhow, how crazy is that? Look at that. Look at that.